Hello, everyone. I would like to talk about a very touchy subject today, especially for the spiritual community, but it is a subject that is extremely necessary to talk about right now. Obviously, take it or leave it, but I have to speak about this. So I want to talk about the fake New Age religion, which some of you are aware of. Some of you are aware that this New Age thing, spirituality, is really fake and it's really controlled and have been manipulated and infiltrated by the dark forces, by the dark wizards, which I call them the dark wizards. People call them the elite, the cabal, anything. I call them the dark wizards if you follow me for a while, because that's what they are. They've been using extremely baneful black magic since before history books could even tell us. Now with together with technology against us for a very, very long time. So this I want to talk about the fake New Age religion, which they want to make the New World religion. They a lot of us know that they've been planning to do a one world government, but some people don't know that they have been also aiming for a one world religion, which is going to be in their plan. That doesn't mean that their plan is going to succeed, but their plan is to have the New Age spirituality as their new religion. So they've been infiltrating and kind of distorting a lot of the basic truths of the universe, because again, they are wizards. They use magic against us. So if people really wake up, if people really know the laws of the universe and use them and use magic properly, they have no power anymore. So they had to infiltrate the spiritual community in so many ways. And I mean, I can go down such a deep rabbit hole right now. Especially as a spiritual teacher, I've experienced this at least for 7 years since I started my sex magic school of Isis and Lilith. And I cannot even begin to tell you the things that are happening in the spiritual community. Like, I don't really talk about this. I don't want to bring negative energy. I don't want to bring fear into people. But trust me, we're dealing with a lot of stuff. I can tell you that most of the really successful, famous, the more famous you are as a spiritual teacher on this planet, the most likely you have been infiltrated and manipulated by the dark forces, by the dark wizards. There's one teacher that I will always respect and honor, because I can recognize the strength that this woman has in terms of battling the dark forces, which is Teal Swan. I will always respect her. I think she's the only spiritual teacher worth listening to. It's really, really, people have forgotten to use discernment, which is really important. So I want to talk about this biggest spiritual bypass that people have in the spiritual community. And this is about polarity, right? So polarity is key. Polarity is very important. Embracing polarity is key in our spiritual growth, and I will explain. So again, many of you are beginning to be aware, or are already fully aware of the fact that the fake spiritual one world religion thing exists. It is the New Age movement that is fueled by the elites and steers people away from the true spiritual sovereignty that they can have. There are many lies, many ways to manipulate the true spirituality, and universal laws that keep humans in a state of seemingly a spiritual path, but keep them still a slave to the false matrix and their own shadows as well. One of the laws of the universe is the law of polarity. That is a basic law of the universe. And look at what they've done the last few years. They've been trying to completely distort, in the most disgusting, horrific ways, one of the most beautiful, pure embodiment of the polarity, which is female, masculine, man, woman, right? Look at what they've done. Look at the distortion. It is so ugly to me. This woke community with like men can be pregnant too, and like it's such a dishonor of the feminine, of the mother, of everything that is sacred about humanity. This is a spit on the divine feminine, and it is a spit on the divine masculine, because they have tried in this way also to take away all power from men as well. Look how weak our men are today. We have no, like in, and again, another rabbit hole, which we can go into, but there is a reason that they've been they've done a pretty good job with a lot of people to program and distort the consciousness of so many men on the planet, to turn them to turn them very weak, to not be able to hold their divine masculine power, because that way what happens? We don't have protectors. In a case of an attack, physical or spiritual, we do not have a protector, right? But this is where women come. This is where we have to take the lead now, because we are the spiritual protectors. We are the energetic protectors. And so it is our job, unfortunately, more difficult than ever, to be those protectors for men and for women, for the sisters, for the children, for the animals, for everything. This is a really hard task we took upon ourselves at this time. That's why I'm right now switching everything in my school with the Sex Priestess program, and I'm trying to make it as affordable and what's the word in English? Excuse me for sometimes I forget words in English. Accessible to the most people, most women I can possibly take in, because so far I've been doing it one-on-one, literally working with a woman one-on-one for a year and a half, and I literally cannot do it. So because we need more women right now to hold this power, to be able to not just face and recognize the dark demons, but also know what to do with them and how to transmute this dark energy we're working with. So again, I went down a rabbit hole, I'm sorry. So it is, again, the polarity, it is a key to our true ascension, as opposition to what many so-called spiritual teachers and gurus teach, all right? I want you, again, keep an open mind, because I know that a lot of you perhaps have went into the spiritual world and you heard the exact opposite from day one, okay? Most spiritual teachers give people what they want to hear, not what they need in order to walk the path of true initiation and truth. Most gurus, I see it all the time, it's really horrible. They take advantage and even use their followers' shadows against them, instead of showing them how to truly own their shadows. Because when you own your shadow, you own your power, okay? One of these distorted teachings in the New Age, New World religion they have been programming humanity into has been this lie of non-polarity, non-binary, non-duality, right? This concept, which has fooled so many people. And it is in fact not only offering each human's the true, it's not offering the truth of universal laws, but it takes away the individual and collective powers that we truly have. What I speak of, again, it may trigger and may anger some of you even, because I will shatter a lot of your deep programming, the spiritual programming, right? But the truth must be spoken. This is the time for truth. The truth is coming out, no matter what. It's really ugly, but it's coming out now. My mission is to show people the way to their true power and absolute freedom, not a fake version of freedom, okay? Embracing polarity is key to this freedom. Embracing the light and shadow, seeing, facing, knowing, acknowledging the real light and the real darkness of this world. And this can be very scary. This can be shocking to the system for most human beings. So that's why a lot of people choose to ignore it or give this darkness and this shadow some excuses, like we're seeing now, in this story that's unfolding in our reality. With so many followers of terrorist groups we call Hamas, which means violence. I actually watched my other video with the spells of Hamas. You have to look at reality and your reality around you as a story. You have to decode the symbols of the reality around you. They're everywhere. This is how you get your power back. This is how you're not controlled by the dark forces. We humanity now face the deepest, ugliest, most uncomfortable and dangerous shadows of all, which we have collectively created, by the way, so that so many people choose not to see it because it's so scary and so ugly. So many people choose to look the other way or even become a supporter of this shadow because they have reached a point of such denial, fear, or haven't faced their own shadows so much that the real shadows, the real demons' shadows now control them. This is why we see so many demonic possessions now on the planet. And I know that not everyone can see it. Some of us have the power to, I've been able to see demonic possessions in people since I was a child. I have been attacked by demonic, like this, it sounds like a movie in Hollywood, but trust me, this is my life. Like I have lived with this energy my whole life, and this is fucking scary. I'm not gonna lie. It is, I've seen it in humanity my whole life, but this is a whole new level, and I've known that it's coming. To be honest with you, I didn't think that my country of Israel will suffer so much in that time. I didn't know that anti-Semitism is going to rise so much. I knew that it's going to be happening with the Islamic world because they are the most demonically possessed out of all the tribes, and they are very easily programmed to be a legion of hate and violence. But this is scary. But the only way to have our power back and our sovereignty back is, well, there's a few ways, but one of them is what I'm talking about right now. So this is one way to connect again with the polarity, okay, inside of us and in the world around us. So I want you to go, whenever after you watch this video, take a moment, sit down, lay down, close your eyes, breathe deep, bring yourself to a moment of imagination, and bring yourself into deep meditation if you want. And I want you to imagine a white and a black snake-like energy that's moving up your spine, okay? A lot of people call this the Kundalini energy. I don't like to use that word Kundalini. I'm not going to go into that right now. But it's a life force, and it's going to be. And I want you to physically, not physically, but in your imagination, see one black, one white. Okay, you must come to the point of absolute facing your own demons, and that is the only way. The external demons and lies and the manipulation of the dark wizards will not affect you, and you can actually see darkness and evil for what it is. You're not going to be able to be manipulated with. We see now so many people that are just empty. I call them empty vessels. I tell this to my friends a lot. I call them empty vessels. I call them zombies, but they're actually empty vessels who have fully taken over by demonic entities because they haven't dealt with their own ugliest shadows enough or at all. Only when we unite them both fully, so you're going to unite these two snakes, snake-like, they don't have to be snakes, but snake-like movement of energy that's going up your spine, and you're going to bring them together, unite them in your third eye, and allow that unity that they're creating, whatever light, and this could be golden light for some of you, this could be white light for some of you, this could be red light for some of you, although not really, maybe for some, but just look at the energy that's rising here. Whatever unification energy light that is created in your third eye from the unity of the black and white energies, your shadow, your light, which represent your shadow and your light, by the way, if I had said it, you're going to allow it to kind of take over all of your head and also your crown. So let it come up, let it just kind of envelop your crown, which is above your head. Do this, I would suggest to do this every day, at least for a month, just to be with this image, with this unity within you, okay? So it's only when we unite them both fully, we can make a conscious, sovereign decision on what side to choose. So again, going back to the story that's unfolding in front of us right now in humanity, which is like the Israel-Palestinian war, right? This is the new thing. So again, these are just the light forces versus the shadow forces battling each other. They have done it through many different people and countries and things. Right now, it is the kind of final, most horrific war, and it's happening between the Israelites and between the forces of darkness. So those who have held the Islamic world, which have held the codes of the black magic the longest, they don't even know that they're holding codes of black magic. Most of them, very few of them do, but they're literally the embodiment of the blackest, most painful magic, of blood sacrifice, of like literally raising your children to become blood sacrificial lambs. It is, again, another rabbit hole I'm not going to go into right now. Okay. So again, only when we unify those parts, our real light and our real shadow. It's not the fluffy version that they give you in a yoga class. It's not the fluffy version that you go do one ceremony of like mushrooms and you think that you're like a guru. This is real work, okay? This is real work, and it's ugly. It is not beautiful. It is scary. It is triggering. It is exhausting. But that is what a light warrior is. That is what a light warrior does. All day long, we do this work. So again, you want to come to the point where you make the sovereign decision of what side to choose. And make no mistakes, this is my point. There is a side to choose now, okay? This is where I come to the meat of this video. Many spiritual teachers will tell you to get out of the matrix. They're correct. They're going to tell you, don't pick a side. But that is also a distorted truth, right? It's not a full-on lie, because we are in a matrix and we are in a false reality of some sort. But we are now at a point where the dark forces are fully unleashed. I did it in my first 2 videos, watch them, about the Israel-Palestinian war and the black magic and all these sacrificial. October 7th literally opened the final portals that they have planned to open for generations. I've talked about this for years. And now we are facing a situation of the purest light and the purest dark of humanity's collective consciousness, which again is embodied within the story of Israel-Gaza, okay? Jews versus Muslims, Muslim versus the entire world, right? Like these are the embodiments of the pure light of consciousness of humanity and the pure shadow of the collective consciousness of humanity. In order to move to the next dimension, we must finish the game that we are playing here. We must choose the forces of light, and within that, hold that energy and space of equilibrium where we are above them both, above the light and shadow eventually, and hold the vision of the highest timeline for us, our loved ones, and the mother. But we cannot skip this part. A lot of spiritual teachers tell you, don't choose. Get outside of the game. But you are in the game. You have to choose light or dark. You have to. And after you make that conscious decision from your mind, from your heart, and from your soul, then, only then, you can rise above it. Only then you can free yourself, quite literally, and create individually and collectively the new world that we want to create, our new world, the world of the mother, the world of love, of unity, of sacred union, of sacredness, of living unified with nature, with life, of honoring life. Just look at which side right now honors life. And really look. Don't believe. There's so many lies and manipulations out there that show you the good is bad and that the bad is good, that make people believe that the demons are to be pitied, and they're the poor ones, and then the real heroes and the light warriors and the lights are the bad ones. You have to use discernment now, and the only way to do it is to really come to that place, of acknowledging the light and the shadow. They're scary, but we have to face them. And finding your own sovereignty, and with your own sovereignty, choose. And once you choose, you step into the next level. Hopefully that makes sense. But again, we cannot skip that part. The fake spiritual world will tell you to skip that part. That is vital. It is, and the reason that it wasn't that vital, maybe it wasn't that vital until now, but we have reached a point where we cannot skip this part. We cannot. We are in this, what's words I can use? We are in this pressure cooker of shit. And we really have to, this is the only way to get out of it. Many are still going to choose the dark, consciously even. Many consciously choose to be a demon, an evil person. That's okay, actually. But they will continue on a different timeline, and we don't have to consent to that reality or the contract with the shadow demons, the elite, the cabal, whatever. I will do another video on contracts, on how to, it's very easy really, which we literally just repeat constantly the spell of I do not consent. Every time you see the world heading a certain way, you know, the pedophile rings, and, you know, they want to bring us to one world government, and they want to, you know, take all our rights, and they want to blah, 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 and another COVID, and like, I do not consent. And I don't have all the answers when it comes to that spell, because I am building and creating that spell right now as well, because again, we are in a different timeline, we're in a different dimension, so now I have to deal with different magic. But I can do that because I have the knowledge of the magic. I see the darkness. I know what the demons look like and how they maneuver. That's why I can defeat them. People who ignore the demons and don't want to look at them, they don't know how to defeat them. These demons are going to take over them. Do you understand? So I am learning myself to maneuver, to dance with these new energies, to move. It's really hard. It's never been this hard. This is heavy. So there is a real danger in the fake spirituality that fluffs every teaching and distorts the truth to fit a more digestible narrative that gurus can sell more easily and have more followers that way. This leads me to another highly toxic religion that we have created together in the social media, which is the need to have as many followers and likes, right? This is toxic. This is another religion. This social media thing became a religion to people. It became an obsession so that people don't even care. And we see this today. This is really ugly what I'm seeing. People don't even care what they post on social media. It can be the biggest lie in the world, as long as it gets them likes and followers. No matter how much shadows they keep feeding and creating in this world, no matter how much hate they keep feeding, this is so ugly. I mean, I'm seeing the ugliest shadows of humanity right now, but I'm also seeing the biggest lights. I'm seeing the true heroes, absolutely fucking heroes. So, non-duality concept is not fully a lie, but it has been distorted and changed to the point that humans are now doing all they can, knowingly or not, to escape it and ignore it, and thus giving away their power and skipping the most important part of their spiritual evolution, bypassing their own shadows, real shadows, and therefore very easily susceptible to any demonic possession. And I want to stress the real danger that this bypass leads to. I hope that this hits home for you. This is a real danger. This is why I don't have many followers, because I don't tell people a beautiful words that they want to hear. I'm going to give you the truth. And the truth is fucking ugly, especially now. This is not beautiful what's happening in the world. So we must fully embrace our shadows as an individual as well as a collective, so that we battle this real threat to our lives now. And this is, by the way, what I love about, and I talked about this before, I mentioned it a little bit before. what I love about the Jewish community, I'm not talking about religion. This is not about religion. I don't follow religion. That it still kept the original codes of the universe a little bit. Of course, it was distorted still, but you see Jewish people now, they rise up, they take accountability, they take responsibilities. Like, how did I create this ugliness and shadow in the world, and how can I make it better? How can I bring more light into it? Like, people literally talk about this all the time. While you see the shadow forces are in their game of victimhood, constant victimhood, and have no knowledge, no wisdom, completely, like I said, like to me, I call them just empty vessels. Okay. No, people that really don't care about women being raped and children being beheaded and burned alive. This is demonic. There is no other word. This is pure demonic. Okay. So in order to do this, to really battle this real threat that we have now for all humanity, we must honor one of the basic laws of the universe, which is the law of polarity. Feminine, masculine, light, shadow, beauty, ugliness, freedom, slavery, until we don't face the true ugliness of this world. The pedophilia, the elites who are now in their final stage of World War III, using the possessed Islamic world as their legions to start pure chaos and violence everywhere. Until we don't see our own inner demons, we will be an easy target for any demons for us to use us. And this goes to how we're treating animals, continuing consuming dead animal flesh and blood. This is black magic to the core. We must purify our vessel, our physical bodies, our physical vessels, in order to receive the pure codes of light. We must evolve to the next phase. Okay? There is no way around it. We must go through the ugliest, most disgusting shadows, and we are going through it now. So something I wrote in the Last Priestess book, which is, by the way, again, I'm going to mention it again. I am dedicating this book, which I published a few days before the October 7th attack, to all my sisters who have been slaughtered and raped in the most horrific ways and tortured in the most horrific ways in Israel, and also in all time, space, and dimension, to all my sisters in all time, space, and dimension. And you can get it now. The link is below. I lowered it to the lowest price, so I'm not making any money of it. It's completely dedicated to all my sisters until the end of 2024, maybe more, I don't know. But something I write there, and I think I worded it a little different, but my demons don't rule me. I make my demons work for me. Okay? What will you choose? Because there is time for decision right now. I love you so much. I'm a priestess of the temple. I am a servant of the mother. And I pray and I know that we can awaken all the children of the mother and return back to her womb and her safety and her love and into sacred union. Thank you.